I feel safer here with my 5-year-old child than I did in the States.
I am David Snow,
and Ryan James.
and we're here with Live More Intentional with our first guest, Callie. Callie, you're from now living in the Dominican, is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
But I'm from Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. I like Austin. It's a great city.
It's beautiful.
It's fun.
And we're so excited to have you today. We met you yesterday and we kind of heard some of your story. And for me, it was very inspiring to hear what you had to say. And we're very grateful that you're able to get your message out to some other people. And so my first question would be, just kind of tell your story and how you ended up in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, it's an honor to be with you guys. I'm so excited to be your first guest, and I love what y'all are doing. I love the purpose of your mission with this podcast, and I'm just happy to be here. So I was living in Chattanooga, Tennessee, the last 5 years prior to moving here with my ex-husband and my 5-year-old son, and life was just a bit difficult, a little hard. And my ex-husband and I decided to split, and through that process there was a lot of heartache involved, a lot of learning, and I just decided, you know what, I don't want to let any more life go by without living my dreams, going for my passions. And I just decided I'm getting out of here. I'm going to take my son. We're going to go, of course, with my ex-husband's permission. We were able to work this out, and ultimately this type of lifestyle here in the Dominican is how I want to raise my child. I feel very strongly about giving him exposure to different countries, different cultures, and things around the world. And he's getting such an incredible experience in childhood being here in the Dominican. And so I just found a way to make it work. I decided to toughen up, go enjoy my life, and here I am in Cabarete.
Well, that's awesome. We love it here. We've only been here for a short amount of time, and we love the Dominican and the weather. It's been beautiful, and people have been very nice. And I just can't imagine living in paradise every day like you're doing.
It's pretty nice. There are definite difficulties to living in a developing country here, but it far outweighs the difficulties in the States for me, and it is paradise. It's a beautiful thing to wake up to every day, and I feel very grateful.
Very awesome. So out of all the places that you could have moved to out of the U.S., why did you decide on the Dominican Republic?
Was not something that was on my radar at all, but a friend of mine who we've been good friends for 25 years, she lived here in the Cabarete area for about 8 years, moved back to the States, and around the time of my sort of big life change, she invited me to come here for my 35th birthday, actually. I fell in love with it, and within less than a year, decided to move back here with her. We had some pretty big plans to do together here, and since being here, things have changed, and that's how life goes, right? You have an idea of what it's going to look like, but it's been interesting to see how God got me here with one thing in mind, and has actually had other plans, and it's just been really beautiful to be a part of this journey the last year living here. And yeah.
Well, that's awesome. A lot of times when you venture, something like a divorce will happen. A lot of people will go in depression or into a slump. How were you able to, get through all that?
Yeah, it was tough. Definitely one of the hardest circumstances in my life. But, and truthfully, I was having a really hard time with alcohol, definitely an alcoholic. And I just decided I don't want this life for my child. I have a choice. I can continue down this path that's just going to be destructive and ugly for me, my child, my ex-husband, or I can just choose to toughen up and work really hard on my junk, and that's what I decided to do with God's help, and got a lot of counseling and a lot of inner healing, and still am going through it, but and I've actually been sober now for almost 2 years.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And it just helped me. I think making that decision of deciding to do what was right for my family ultimately in the divorce and getting sober I found a lot of strength in myself that I didn't realize was there. Gave me a lot of courage to make changes in my life.
That's great. That's awesome that you can bounce back and you're doing well and you look awesome and
Thanks.
I love your positive vibes and your attitude and you're very, I think you're very brave to do what you did. And I know after a relationship or breakup or a divorce, a lot of people struggle with that, and you're a testament that you can change, and we all do have a choice, like you said.
Absolutely, you do. And life is too short. We have one life. Doesn't mean that hard things aren't going to come and that I don't still have hard days, but beautiful things can come out. I'm now engaged to a wonderful Dominican man. He's got a child, so together we have this beautiful family, American Dominican, and blessings come when the time is right. They come, and you can find yourself in a different situation.
That's great. So you found love in the Dominican.
Yeah.
That's
a little
awesome.
Crazy and unexpected, but yes.
But sometimes you don't expect when you least expect it, something happens.
Absolutely, and that is exactly what happened. I was sort of I'm staying away from men. I'm ready to just have some time on my own, and then bam, there he was.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you and your husband meet?
There's a really beautiful area that we call La Boca here, which is where the river meets the ocean, and a lot of local kiters go there and they kite. And I was there with some friends of mine one day who are local here, and he was there, and we just locked eyes and ended up meeting each other with some friends that evening, and that was it.
So what is this kiting you're talking about? Kind of explain it.
Kiting, yes. Kite surfing, it's a really interesting and really fun water sport. It's one of the main reasons why people come to Cabarete. The way that the bay, do we call it a bay? What do we call it?
It's a bay, yeah.
The way that the bay is shaped and the wind comes in, it provides a lot of good wind for kiting. So it's just these big, beautiful kites that people surf out on, and he loves it. He's been doing it his whole life, and he's a professional instructor for both kite surfing, wing foil. He loves it all. I'm just learning to surf. I have a lot to learn. One day I'll get to kiting, but for the moment, surfing is it, and it's been really neat. It's actually the couple of times that I've gotten on the board, it's been extremely healing to me. So I can understand why these people love it and just become so passionate about it. And it's really beautiful and freeing to be out in the water with all the beautiful colors. I'm sure yesterday y'all probably got to see.
We did. I got to see what it is. For our viewers that didn't know what kiting is, I thought it'd be good, because when I think of kiting, I think of as a little kid playing with a kite, up in the sky. But attaching a surfboard to it sounds a little extreme, and it is extreme when you seeing someone go in the air,
do their jumps.
Your husband's like, I don't know, 15 feet in the air or higher.
Yeah, he gets pretty high.
Yeah, so it's amazing seeing a board come out of the water and they're flying in the air.
Especially when there's so many of them out there all at the same time,
Hundreds.
and none of them get their kites hooked very often, and they're just doing jumps, and it's incredible to me.
I got some great video of that from yesterday, and it was it's really cool to see that out, the colors and everything, and everyone doing their jumps and coming in, and it's really fun.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
And now this is actually the kind of capital of kiting in the Caribbean, correct?
Yeah. That's correct. I think it's like the top 10 in the world, maybe, and then the capital in the Caribbean. So a lot of people come here specifically to kite, and it provides for a really good just variety of people groups here, and it's really neat.
And we've met people from all over the world. We talked to two young ladies from Norway that are kiting, and they do a lot of kiting, which I can't imagine doing in like Denmark and Norway. It might be a little chilly in the water. Here, the water is super warm. I feel like I'm almost in a bathtub.
Jacuzzi.
Yeah, it gives them a bit of some extra freedom there. I can't imagine doing it in the cold either. But they do it. The extreme kiters, they love it, and they do it. Yeah. And then they come here for their fun breaks, and there's no way.
That sounds like it's great. And what's your if we need to get in contact, if let's say one of our viewers wants to contact with your husband for lessons, how would they contact him?
Well, y'all have some sort of, I would assume you can put a link to our website,
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, you can put a link to our website on there, and they can just contact us directly. My information is on the website, so it's him and I have a property management business here, as well as I'm a realtor. So if anyone needed any vacation ideas, we're certainly happy to help. But you can contact me through the website.
So we could either a viewer can actually come talk to you about either purchasing property,
Absolutely.
or even renting property through you.
Absolutely.
And they can get assistance what they need.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And kind of speaking on that subject, a lot of people are interested in different prices here in the Dominican, housing prices, renting prices. How are those different from, back home in Tennessee or in Austin? Are they the same? Are they different? How does that work?
Completely different. It's been really interesting being a realtor back in the States prior to moving here. Obviously we're seeing the market all over the States go crazy right now and have been for a while. But to watch what I've watched here in Cabarete, it's doing the same thing. It's higher. It's increasing every month, but still significantly cheaper than what you could find in the States. So you can find something to rent here for as low as I was managing some properties here that you could rent 2-bedroom, 2-bath for $350 a month here.
Wow.
In a loud area, more Dominican neighborhoods, but they're safe and decent properties. Or you can be living lavishly on the beach for $2,000-$3,000 a month. So you're able to find whatever you're looking for that will fit your lifestyle. And in terms of buying, you're probably looking at $250,000 plus for more of the vacation-y style properties. You can definitely buy cheaper, but it's going to take a while for those places to be much of an investment. But yeah.
One thing that we talked about, even with Live More Intentional, even retirees that maybe on a fixed budget that you could be in Colorado looking at a snowbank versus living
Absolutely
here and living in paradise and
absolutely
and your money will stretch a lot further.
It can, and you've got some expenses that are significantly higher. To purchase a car here is outrageous. It's a lot more expensive than it is in the States, but typical repairs are a lot cheaper. AC bills, I think we've got a 3-bedroom house and we pay about $30 a month for our electricity. So,
Wow.
If that tells you anything. We don't use the AC too much, so that's one thing, but you can absolutely live on a budget here.
That's great.
And be happy and free, and yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and me and Dave, we've been eating a lot the last few days, walking up and down the beach and finding great restaurants. And one thing I've been shocked about is so many restaurants in the United States. You go out nowadays, you can expect to pay at least $15 to $20, and here, a very, very large majority of all the deals are under $10.
Yeah.
Well, I'm stuffed, when I get done eating it. It's just that,
Absolutely.
that's one thing. When I was younger, traveling, I was always scared about the food. And what do you think the food's like compared to like the U.S.?
I think it's great personally. I've never been healthier in my life since moving here. I'm a little strict in how I eat, but you can eat fresh fruits, fresh vegetables. You can so easily just go straight to little comadas and get fresh coconut meat, fruits, all the vegetables you want. You can eat all the processed stuff you want as well. It's here, but you have plenty of healthy, good, whole food options here. Fresh fish. It's, in my opinion, it's significantly healthier.
Do they do processing here in the Dominican?
I think they do. I don't know too much about it, to be honest with you.
Sure.
I try to stay away from as much processed stuff as I can, but this place provides plenty of other healthy options for me, which, in my opinion, to be healthy, if you're an avid, if you're really wanting to pursue health in all the forms, this place provides everything that you need to be able to do that, and I think it's amazing.
Back home we have, I was with one of my friends, he's from Congo, and he said, what's the difference between this tomato and this organic one? And he didn't know what organic was. In a lot of these countries, everything's organic, so you're not paying the extra price to eat healthier. You're getting the real deal. You're straight from the farm to the market.
Yep.
And you're getting, with not chemicals and stuff in it, where it just tastes, the food tastes so much differently. The fruits, the vegetables.
The avocados. I don't know if y'all have seen eaten the avocados, but they are dramatically different than what we have in the States.
We had a chicken guacamole burger yesterday, and it was unbelievable.
Oh, phenomenal.
It was delicious.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
I was like a bear in a garbage can. I was just eating that.
That's great.
So you spoke a little bit about a change in your physical health when you came here. Did you notice a change in your mental health when you started living here?
Absolutely. I think I'm going to mess the actual number up, but there's a pretty high statistic in the psychology field that is, if you live next to a body of water, specifically the ocean, people who live by the ocean are some really high percentage overall happier, less depressed. And it's just honestly something about the sounds, the colors, getting in the water. It's absolutely healing and beautiful. And for me, just the slow-paced lifestyle. The word here is tranquilo. Like that's how you say it is. It's very tranquilo here, and the people are kind. The people are hospitable, very welcoming. You just are not as rushed. They don't know what that is here, to be on the go, fast-paced like we are in the States. And so that alone in itself for me was extremely healing. I was really burnt out coming from the go lifestyle. And now I've had time to just be quiet long enough to actually recharge my brain, recharge my body, sleep properly, eat properly, all of those things that your body and your mind needs to recuperate and recover from trauma and stress and things that us Americans are subjected to on a daily basis, and we don't even necessarily realize it, right? Like it's just been incredible what this place has done for my mental health.
Yeah, every day feels like a Saturday to me. I don't even know what day of the week is.
You definitely get into your non-vacation mode lifestyle. We still have to move forward with life, but yeah, I mean, you can decide what you want that to look like. Our family doesn't have a set Saturday, Sunday type of mentality. We work a little most days of the week, and we play a lot too, and so it's really nice.
It's been so safe that we've been here. We've been here late at night, where we've had walked along the beach and gone out for a late meal and enjoyed that, and we've never had any problem with safety since we've been here. And I've heard that I don't speak Spanish at all, and I can get around, and there's always someone that speaks English that can help you out.
Absolutely. I learned very quickly, if you just simply say estoy aprendiendo español at the beginning of everything, they are quick to meet you where you are with your English and know that, okay, you're trying, and then they'll help teach you a little bit, and they're just very kind. So, but most of them, absolutely, you can communicate with enough to figure out what you're doing and what you need.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And what are the locals like here?
They're so kind.
Mm-hmm.
They're so
That's what
kind.
we've noticed too.
Yeah, they're very friendly, hospitable people. Dominicans are some of the most generous people I've ever met. Somebody's always giving you something, offering you something. Even if they have nothing to give, they'll find something to give you. They're very kind, very, very kind people.
And if you had someone that was scared to come to Dominican, what would you recommend if you're in a bad relationship, or you want to start brand new, a fresh start like you did? What would you recommend? How did you start your journey? How do you just hey, I'm just gonna go to Dominican? I know you said with your friend and all that, but someone that doesn't have a friend here, what would you recommend? Tell them to do
I would start with a little vacation here. Come here, visit, check things out for yourself, get a little feel, get some, get a little comfortable with the place, and pretty quickly you'll see it is very safe. We do have this idea in our minds as Northern Americans that it's very dangerous, and it's really not. I feel safer here with my 5-year-old child than I did in the States back home. You have your occasional muggings and things like that, but the crime is significantly less here. In some of the larger cities, you might have some problems, but here it's very safe. The people are very welcoming, as I said before. So you know, I think you can find good people that you'll easily connect with that can help kind of pave your way for
Sure.
you, and you just kind of end up landing on a path and you don't even recognize. That's what I hear from people all the time. They just show up here, they don't know what they're doing, they don't know where they're going to stay, and they just have a path in front of them the next day and they go from there.
If you had to pick one thing, what's your favorite thing about living here?
My favorite thing about living here, I think, is how the Dominicans see the world. My fiance wakes up every single day just great. I mean, he repeats the same thing. He's grateful to have eyes to see, feet to walk, ears to hear, that his loved ones are safe. And that is the way that the Dominicans, that's their mentality so often. It's just they're grateful to be alive, to be living in this paradise. And I personally have learned a lot from them on how to slow my mind and just be grateful for the basics that we have in life. I think that's something that we all can afford to grow a lot more in, and their perspective on life absolutely is my favorite.
And have the Dominican people kind of been helpful to you to answer any questions you had about how to get around and just fun things to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel a little more blessed than maybe a lot of tourists, being that my fiance is Dominican and we met very early on. So his family, he's local here in Cabarete, so his community has just been very welcoming to me. But I think they would do the same Dominicans would do the same with anybody. So they absolutely will recommend different excursions, or you need to go to this place, or this is where you shop, this is what you need to do. There's no way that you can get here and not feel like you're being helped. So my biggest recommendation would just be to look inside, dig deep, and just make that decision to jump and come and try it out, or anywhere it is that you want to go in the world. But life is just too short to stay in our American bubbles and not experience what else God has put on this planet for us to enjoy.
Yeah.
So just be brave.